Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala with the POPXP, and joining me on our crowdfunding adventures is the teen sensation himself. He's never going to age. By my side, Mr. Billy Tucci, and the most amazing Frank you'll ever meet, Mr. Frank Amazing. Gentlemen, welcome to this crowdfunding adventure.
And what an adventure it is.
Yeah,
I'm glad I am here on Crowdfunding Comics. I've been a little behind on my deadlines, so I've been missing them. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show.
That's it, man. And how is everything going with Mr. Tucci?
Everything's going good. I'm actually drawing part of my 8-page Miss Fury extra in Miss Fury Joy Division. I'm writing and illustrating with my pal Gardenio Lima. An extra 8-page story, bonus story that goes in the back of Joy Division called The Black Furies, which is about the sequel comic to Miss Fury Joy Division. So I'm drawing that page right now. A nice, cool splash.
Oh, very cool. And Mr. Frank Amazing.
Yes.
How is the world in the search and the hunt of amazing crowdfunding campaigns?
Very, very good. I mean, we have people reaching out to us for like June.
Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
Yeah, it is. You know, they're like, hey, you know, we're going to do it. I'm like, you sure you're going to do it? Like, don't make me book if you're not. And, you know,
he's the boss.
Yeah, he is the boss.
Like, Mr. Amazing in the house.
We're tight on spots, you know, like,
oh, I know.
We can't be giving it away, but, you know, crowdfunding is still strong. You know,
it is very strong. It's very strong. Speaking of strong, yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you guys find it? No, sorry. Frank, do you see that it's getting more and more, even busier? The crowdfunding campaign, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, is it getting more crowded?
I think it is, based upon, you know, more people are delving into it. What we've seen, I mean, you know, I think, you know, especially is, you know, two sides. You have the up and comers that are coming in strong. I mean, you know, when people watch our previous episodes, you know, we've had first timers where, you know, they're making a couple of $1,000s on their campaign and they did everything right. And I mean, you have the established people that are also coming in as well, you know, doing art books or, you know, an actual book, whatever it may be, you know, whatever they feel comfortable with. So it's coming from, you know, both sides of the spectrum.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Incredible. And speaking of strong campaigns, new campaigns, everyone, I'd love to welcome Joe Catapano to the show, the creator of Star Circuit.
What's up, everybody?
What's up,
how are you doing, man?
Hey, it's been good. It's been a hell of a day.
A whirlwind, huh? Because you're Star Circuit. You premiered and launched this campaign yesterday, correct?
Yeah, well, yesterday at night, 11 o'clock. So almost today. Oh,
that's crazy, man. And I have to say, I mean, we'll get into the campaign, but I mean, incredible. You're 200% funded already.
Yeah, I never saw that coming. I thought it would do decent because I'm confident in my work, but I didn't know it was going to like explode. I'm like #1 on Indiegogo right now. It's weird.
Wow.
It's like
well done, buddy. Nice.
It's like a weird dream.
It's incredible, dude. And I have to say, I started a series a few weeks back, after we got this thing, with the whole live streaming stuff with Warner Brothers. And, I created a series that was actually the real concept of what the POPXP, exploded into, which was just me going on in a tiny little version of myself in the corner. In the background is the whole, screen. And it's going through and exploring, different campaigns and sites. that are going on between Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and I started off this series Exploration Indiegogo, and each episode has a different theme. And I was going on and I saw yours, and it was funny because I had this column. And if you know me, I'm not like the hugest fan of anime, right? But it's growing on me. It's definitely an art I respect. It was just never anything that really grabbed me. And I said, oh, these kind of look like this and that. And then I clicked on yours because it was the first one. And I'm scrolling through and I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, this is incredible. Like the art completely blew me away, won me over. I started reaching out to other guys that stream and stuff. I'm like, hey, this is coming out. Because I think I saw it on the like a previews thing, or yeah, it was when I was doing the previews episode. And I saw yours because you gave quite a bit in your preview, which again, kudos to you, because one of my biggest critiques was that, people aren't giving enough previews in the preview. And that was kind of a big issue to get me to sign on to the emailing list. And I did sign on yours. Yours might have actually been the first one I signed on to. But the book is absolutely gorgeous. And before we dive into this, two things is, how did you get into comics? And then the second part of that question is, what made you go into crowdfunding?
Okay. Yeah. 2-part question. Okay. So part one, getting into comics, I grew up in an Italian Catholic, like really strict environment. I barely could read any comics. I snuck around getting X-Force and whatever else I could in this family. We were up in Long Island, and I just barely read any. And so I kind of came into my own with reading comics in college. So really late in the game, I started drawing at like 21 rather than people start at like 12 or whenever it is more appealing for a kid to draw. So I just felt like I was behind the game, I guess, a little bit in that sense. But I started loving just the storytelling overall. It didn't matter what it was; it just mattered that you did creative things with panels, and you did creative things with things that you couldn't do in movies, you couldn't do in TV. That's what I was interested in most. And part two is crowdfunding. I got here because of two different things. I wanted to pitch Star Circuit, this book, like originally, but I saw the industry kind of just taking a weird angle. And I think even Patrick Thomas Parnell told me to maybe pitch it to the Scout comic guys, or, the lower end, Antarctic Press, people like that. And that's what I was going to do. And that's why this book is 32 pages. But I ended up going crowdfunding because of CG, pretty much seeing Comicsgate and seeing so many good young, well, not all young, but like good projects, and they all getting some love at least. And I was like, oh, this could actually be a viable route.
Yeah. Now I saw you were on with Peter Samedi, I think, well, maybe last week or so, and you were going. Now, do you know Peter Samedi prior to this? No,
me and him have just like this a funny connection through one of the writers. One of the first stories I ever kind of like just threw my art at was his letterer that he lettered most of the alternate books. Wes Loker, he wrote one of the stories I did, and I just, that's how we made a connection. But that wasn't very big. Only after I started going to his channel and after going to his open mic, over time we built a relationship. And he actually showed up for the launch last night. I was so impressed just that somebody from a publisher showed up. That was cool. So he's a great guy. There's not any better caliber person than Pete.
Yeah. Well, that's another publisher to look at, depending on how this takes off. It's something, because I mean, he doesn't really have a book like this in his lineup. And, that's also another avenue to look at, or you just stick to the crowdfunding as well, hit a double-edged sword, but this is a gorgeous book. Let's bring this up here. I mean, you guys got to check this out. Now, I'm going to pull it up right here. This is what caught me right here. I saw this cover and I was like, oh, wow, that's incredible. And then I start going through your interiors.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit on my end, just a heads up.
Is it? Oh, okay. So, I mean, we see like all this.
Beautiful. Looks just beautiful.
Edit that out. Because we have an upload going on of another video, and I think that's adding a little lag. But yeah, all your interiors are absolutely incredible.
The colors are gorgeous too. My God. Wow.
Thank you. Wow. So this is actually the struggle for me was the writing part of it, because this is my first time really doing a full writing job. I wrote a lot of other things, a lot of other writing challenges, creative writing, but this is my first attempt at a full arc, and it took me a long time. I rewrote this thing for like 2 years, and you know, the art part is easier for me. I see it and I draw it, and I've been studying art for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Now you started drawing at 21. I mean, this is incredible work you've done.
Yeah, 20.
So this one's Cane and White, not mine, but besides that one, it's great.
Yeah, very cool. Now, who does the coloring for you?
I'm the colorist as well. So
you are.
Wow, you got a talent, brother. You really do. Well done.
Thank you. Coming from you, that's like ecstatic. But yeah, I pull a lot from Sid Mead. I don't know if you know this designer that died recently. He's a big inspiration. If you look at his paintings, everything he does is super vibrant and yet real, and like combining those two things together is what I wanted. It's one of the reasons I go straight from pencils to color to leave some of the grit. And that's what my end goal was, to have this kind of gritty cyberpunk look, but also comic book, vibrant, you know, in your face, you know, kind of aesthetic.
Now, do you do all your work digitally?
No. I'll originally, actually, I started doing it all traditionally, and then I was like, man, this is taking forever. So now I'm doing digital layouts, and then I lightbox on paper. I do the artboard, traditional pencils, and then I bring back to digital and do the colors.
Oh man, this is incredible. I really love the interiors. I mean, it really grabbed me. And blew me away. You know, it completely blew my expectations of what I saw right off based on the cover. And it really was just this face right here. I mean, you're a very talented artist.
Thank you.
This cover looks amazing. And before we get into the actual story, you know, and what this book's about, you know, your first time Indiegogo, is this your first crowdfunded campaign period?
Period, yeah.
I mean, so as a first-time crowdfunder, how did you go about, you know, consulting? Did you reach out to other creators? How did you go about setting up your campaign? I
just kind of fell into this. I always think I'm just a lucky dude, not in the fact that, you know, things fall in my lap, but I'm always somewhat prepared for the thing that's coming up. So what really helped out was I was doing art tutorials for howtodrawcomics.net and those guys over there, the Barden Bros. And through them, they had all these connections. Since I was doing these tutorials, they threw me in this group chat with everybody else that I respected in crowdfunding. You know, Rob the Replicator, you know, guys that are coming. Shane Davis was in the group chat. So I'm getting all this advice from experienced people. And also Rob the Replicator had like a crowdfunding document that's out there spreading through CG, and just really informing on, like, he gave you a by the numbers process to figure this out, and that's how I work. So maybe I can give him a lot of the credit. I just followed the rules. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat too. I mean, you're in what? Are you just about approaching 24 hours?
Yeah, at 11:30.
At 11:30, you'll hit 24 hours. You already have over 100 backers, and you've already doubled, you know, your goal of 3,000. You're now $6,026. You have 59 days left to go. I mean, that's incredible. What do you think that attributes from? Were you pushing this before you went live? Were you hitting live streams? Were you like reaching out to people? How do you think this happened so quickly for you?
Not very much, actually. I attribute it to it sucks because I don't want it to be arrogant and like, oh, I think the art's that great a quality. I just know that like in a meritocracy,
really good.
Yeah, like, it stands out. I just know it stands out somewhat.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing like it on Indiegogo right now. That's for sure. As far as this steampunk style. Plus, like you said, you go from the pencils right to like the colors. So you keep that like rough edge to it. You have a really unique design to your book. And yeah, it does. It's not arrogance. It's your product. It's what you do. Be
passionate about it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
So yeah. I think, yeah, I don't like it. It always comes off a little bit like that, but I did hit up some streams, and I hit up open mics, and you know, just what you do when you first start out. Nobody will give you the time of day really in the beginning, and then slowly. I was new to the community with CG as well, so everybody in the chats like didn't know me, and you know, nobody could pronounce my last name, and it's just slowly over time, it just came to be like I was part of the scene, you know what I mean? And once you hit that mark, once people know you, then they're willing to give you the benefit of the doubt of, oh, okay, maybe we will just open this page up and see how good it is.
Yeah, definitely. So let's check out your crowdfunded campaign video here. because I've seen it before and it's really good. So we'll play it for everyone.
Cool.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
That's kick-ass, man.
That's awesome.
That is a kick-ass trailer. I like that music, man.
Does not seem like your first campaign, that's for sure.
Seriously. How long did it take you to put all this together? This is really a question for people out there that are trying to do what you just did.
So, like I said, I kind of started figuring this out early on, that it's not kind of an overnight thing. I realized that, from everything I heard, you need to like plan ahead. So I had this mailing list and started the pre-campaign at least 5 months ahead of time. And I just saw all the mistakes that people made and what was right was wrong. I made the first teaser for this thing and it's nowhere near as good as this teaser. So I hired somebody to make it for me. And he made the music and the trailer. That's Ted Sikora. He's done several. He's done Sovereign Wolf. He's done Xenotype and a few others in CG, but he's great. And it really sells the vibe of the book, the energy that you might not get if you're just watching still pages without the words, Yeah.
And you actually just got, when we refreshed, you had another backer. So now you're at 102 backers.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
There you go, buddy.
There you go. So people are backing it. It's an awesome book. Everyone out there that's watching this, if you can, share these campaigns. What's amazing about indie creators and what we're all doing here, even with these shows and these channels, is help share the movement, right? Share everything they're doing. Even if it's not something you're into, respect the process if you can, and if it's something that you think is pretty cool, back it, of course. First thing is back it and support those creators. Second is just share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on Twitter. I mean, if you just do it once, you may find 1 or 2 backers, or you may know 50 people that will end up backing this. So, that's just the first thing, the best thing everyone can do is just kind of help share. And that's what grows this community, because as you guys all know, mainstream right now isn't putting out the best content. So being part of all this, whether you're doing Kickstarters, Indiegogos, you're making your own content on YouTube, Twitch, Discord, or anything of those nature. I mean, you guys are creating content and no one can tell you what to do except whatever your imagination holds. So let's keep growing in what we're doing. And man, you're definitely doing it, Joe. I mean, this book is amazing. This is definitely like right up my alley. So I'm probably going to snag that featured essentials level right there.
Thank you.
And then I'll do a horrible review on it. I'll be like, this is just, this is just a bag of this. What did he sell me here? Come on, Joe. No, I think it's going to be fantastic, dude. And I got to know though, now, what is this about?
Sure. Yeah. Before you do that, because you mentioned the essentials, I wanted to mention there are discounts up to 11:30, just in case there are people that get it right before 11:30. Maybe, I don't know how quick this is coming out, but until 11:30 today, it's going to be discounted. The book is also, before I jump into the story, is 95% complete, so it's pretty much done. You get it almost as soon as it backs, or we got a good flow going with how many we have. So yeah, the book is I wrote this book based around a theme, which is how do we derive purpose? How do we find our purpose? What does it mean when we've become obsolete through technology or through just not being the most skilled? So this is how this story evolved, and the blurb, it's on the page somewhere, but is, after all human attempts have ended in tragedy, one street racer, Atlys Metric, is convinced that with the help of a long-forgotten racing legend, he can win in a championship full of androids, and they're just unbeatable. And in that way, he can save what's left of his broken family and kind of inspire the whole society. Because as a side note, the society is so far in the future, we've become complacent. Like no one strives for great things because there's no reason to. You don't have to work because of android labor, and it's just a sci-fi world where you can do whatever you want and live the life you want. But does that really give you any meaning? And this is kind of, we follow the guy that is figuring it out kind of by accident.
Very cool, man. That's very cool. I don't know why. Like, I was just like I know it has nothing to do with it, but like, I just felt like a Karate Kid, like just like the just kind of like the story of it. Not like, you know, obviously it's not karate, but just the vibe the movie gets is kind of like what I was getting from this. And I don't know if it's just because of that awesome music in your video, but I'm just like, oh man, I was just getting my Karate Kid vibe, and that's one of my favorite movies. And
it's an odd thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I told you guys I'm Italian, and like we're very family based. So half of this book is about relationships. The other half is about the sexy motorcycles, but the main half is about like imperfect families, you know, figuring it out that way. But also like the girl on the cover is his ex-girlfriend. He's trying to figure out how to deal with all these things at the same time as, you know, striving for, you know, this racing goal. But that kind of falls into his lap rather than an ambition. But like you said, the family aspect, and you know, I've got a character section on this page too. But it's a diverse cast, and not physically, but mostly personality types, and they all feel kind of natural, which I'm pulling straight from me. I'm pulling a lot from. These are all different kind of facets of me that I pull from.
Nice. Now, where on Long Island did you grow up?
We are in Suffolk County, Ronkonkoma.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
I know Ronkonkoma. My wife's from Holbrook.
Oh, nice. I haven't been up there in so long. I go visit family once in a while. Yeah, they're kind of weird over there.
Our taxes just went up to $18,000 for property taxes. So get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy a house down here in Orlando, and
buy a house down there. Don't come up here.
I feel like a lot of snowbirds are looking to buy whatever, you know.
It's not just snowbirds. Everyone's fleeing the state by a million
right.
every year. So
yeah,
it's so well run.
Oh yeah, not great for.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just getting emotional about
this. I get. My wife shows me my tax bill today. Anywho, but I digress.
Yes. You have a lovely home, Mr. Tucci. That's where your lovely studio is. You know, you got to stay and create a way. But Joe, man, thanks so much for coming on with us and sharing this book with us. Looks fantastic. We'll continue pushing it through our channels as well, you know, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, on our Instagram, and we'll push and, you know, check people out. I'm just going to, you know, just hit refresh one more time, see if anything changed on here for you. With this upload, though, I do apologize. Just a little slower on this end, but this is great.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I respect all you guys for helping creators, and I respect Billy for you know, like coming back to, you know, owning your own craft, because like I know how it is going to like corporate endeavors and then coming back and doing your own thing. And I really enjoy I backed it. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you so much. And I look forward to backing your book too, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are great.
All right. Man.
Good luck, Joe. Good luck with everything, and keep us in the loop on how the campaign and everything's going. We'd love to have you back on to hang out.
Right on the corner.
Cool, have yourself a great night. All right, I'm telling you, man, that book just gripped me. You know, I saw that.
His first campaign, dude.
That's his first campaign. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. But he knows what he's doing. You know, his background's in art, and you know, when someone says that, who knows what they've dabbled in? You know, they could have done graphic design and on top of, you know, fine arts and illustration, other things. You never know. And you combine all those talents. These crazy. Oh, I know. Fantastic. I mean, and you want to talk about some pros too. I mean, we've got a returning guest that just blew me away the first time he was on the show. And now that they're here with a brand new book. So let me welcome Ted Sikora and Alicia Lynn Regina to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi,
welcome back, Ted. Alicia,
thanks for having me back. Thanks for having us back.
Happy to have you.
Blessed and happy. Thanks so very much for having us. Very much pleasure.
Welcome. So, I mean, you guys have an amazing book out, Bloom, and I mean, it looks awesome. And Ted, I mean, what you threw back at us with Punchline and everything the first time we had you on the show, I mean, oh my God, your art in the story. I mean, all of it was just exquisite. And then you sent us this great bundle of materials, and I went through all of it. And I mean, another home run. And this is such a unique story. So, I mean, you got to tell me just before we jump into it, hey, where's Mr. Butch? Where's Mr. Butch at?
He is, he said he's logged in, but he had to take care of something that just came up, and he's going to try to join us.
All right, perfect. So once he pops in, we're just going to pop him on so he can join the conversation. So how has life been between the last time you're on the show and coming back on now?
Pretty good. You know, I took part of that comics launch course, which was very helpful. I have to, you know, thank Tyler for putting that thing together. I learned a lot about doing Kickstarters, and especially fulfillment. Like, fulfillment used to be the thing I just sort of, you know, it was this thing you slog through. But I got this label maker and all this stuff. I set up my ShipStation account and all that. And there was like a little dopamine rush every time a label came off the thing. It was all ready to go. I just sticked it on. I used to show up at the post office with 100 packages at a time, and they hated me. Everyone in line hated me. You know, you're letting people go in front of you. I mean, that was such a game changer that I kind of got done with the campaign, and I was ready to go again.
There you go.
Very nice, very nice. And Ted, please introduce us to Alicia. I mean, you know, what is her role with this new book that's coming out? Just let the fans and all of us get to know Alicia.
Let's get to know Alicia.
Let's get to know Alicia.
Let's get to know
how to start here. Regina is a character who is the main nemesis in our Apama series. And I was set up at Steel City Con, and across from me was this Heroinberg group that was doing this cosplay and a comic book, Pittsburgh-based. And Alicia, you know, she kind of walked by with sort of a very cool vibe, you know, and I was just like, she stopped by the booth, or I called her over. I can't remember, but I was telling her about Tap Dance Killer. And then I said,
and can I also just note that part of why I had such an air about me is that I am wearing a full shiny cat suit and hot pink go-go boots, red hair, and a mask, and I'm slinking around selling Heroinberg. So
nice. Oh boy, Heroinberg.
Just so everybody has a full mental image of the day.
Yeah,
he's like our inside guy, Heroinberg. Always with emails, recommendations, always on our live streams. He's great.
Yeah,
we don't really know his name. We just know him as Heroinberg. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's keep it that way, because I love
keeps
the
mystery.
Yeah.
Yes. See, Alicia.
So I said, hey, check out our stuff, whatever. I gave her the pitch, and I said, and we were talking, and I said, wow, you really kind of remind me of our Regina character. Check her out. And I showed her some of the artwork from Apama 5. And I'm giving her the backstory, and I'm like, we're doing a book, actually her origin story, which takes place in 1969. So it's the start of the Hero Tomorrow Comics universe, because all her stuff is a shared universe. And I said, you know, we sometimes have people cosplay our characters. You know, maybe we could do a photo shoot sometime. And, you know, I was telling her, so the character, Regina, you know, in the 60s, she's sort of this wild, you know, backup singer, dancer in this rock band. And she goes, well, I'm a backup singer in a rock band. And I'm like, oh, really?
And a dancer.
So there is so much weird meta stuff going on around Regina.
Layers.
Yeah, we can get into that later maybe, but yeah, that was the sort of the introduction. And then, you know, a couple of years went by, and finally we did the photo shoot. So she did our first photo cover, and we shot that about 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
3 weeks ago?
Excellent. Wow.
And a blast it was.
Very cool. Very cool. That's neat to get to kind of have that inspiration walk by. That really grabs. Yeah. And then just kind of have all those connections. That's pretty cool. It's just one of those meant to be moments, right? Just how the universe works together, and, you know, everything just kind of lines up. That's very cool. And, you know, let's take a look at this campaign, because again, you know, I've gone through, you know, everything that you sent over to us, and it's just amazing. And as with all your books, Ted, I mean, the art is top notch, the coloring's top notch, and it's just such a unique story in what you put together with this one. And I know you did mention that, I believe that this is the cover that you just mentioned here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's so cool.
That's badass.
That is badass. That is awesome. Now, I didn't go through all the levels, but I mean, are you gonna make like a poster of that? Like, like,
yeah.
Come on, I mean, it's like the 70s, the poster.
Let's do it with the velvet, Ted. Let's do it.
You know,
we may, I could put it out and see. We have a poster level for the main cover, and that was done by the main cover was done by Bong Dazzo, who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have I mean, before the campaign even began, people were like, you better make sure you have a poster of that. So I put we do have a poster of that, but I could add one of the Alicia.
When did Dazzo pass away? Well,
is it 2 years ago now?
Was it about 2 years ago?
Jeez.
It's crazy how fast time goes. It really is. But I mean, yes, such a unique book. And this is actually in the comics we love section on Kickstarter. You guys are right there. If you go on the page and and of course, like when I'm not logged in when I do this because I don't want any of my own personal stuff to, how the sites filter. So when I just went on to Kickstarter, it happened to be like right there. It came right up into like the comics we love or the books we love. So this book is trending right now on Kickstarter, which is very cool. And before we get into everything, though, you have such a great video. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play your campaign video for everyone.
Bloom, the origin of a prophet. She's not a witch. She's not ancient. She's not possessed. She is an entity like no other. Bloom is a 4-issue series written and created by Ted Sikora with art by Butch Mappa. The year is 1969. Bloom, the origin of a prophet. Meet Ramsey, mechanic by day and aspiring comic book creator by night. One evening, when he tripped in the forest, he was bombarded by bizarre and mysterious glyphs. He tries to use the symbols to create a new villain, but he can't get it right until he goes to a festival and encounters Regina, a wild dancer, a free spirit. He invites Regina into the woods for a photo shoot. He paints the symbols onto her body, and then she becomes rated R for language, nudity. Photo cover featuring Alicia Lynn. Psychedelic A cover by the late great Bong Dazzo. Romance and mystery covers by Benito Gallego. Incentive cover by Donny Hadiwijawa. Or be drawn into the cult cover by Butch Mappa. Double-sized 48-page issue 1. Read Blue. Experience Blue. Live Blue. Read it like your very soul depends on it. Bloom, the origin of a prophet. This April, Regina's coming for you.
You know what I think? This world we're in right now is the fairy tale. And what's really real is on the other side.
Guys, wow.
Absolutely incredible. But we just talked about the universe lining. I mean, Billy, this is a time traveling show.
Yes,
we went deep into the future with racing motorcycle androids, and then we head back in our time machine and we hit 1969 with some of the best campaign video music I've heard ever, and I freaking love it. Ted, where did you get the music for the video?
Oh, I did a search on Pond 5. It's licensed.
It's got that Doors vibe to
Doors,
it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I feel like you need to do like a soundtrack for this. There has to be some other kind of, because like even like the photo shoot was fully soundtracked, and there is such a feeding off of the music, and like it, wow. I would love to see you at least set up a playlist, something.
Yes, yeah. There will be something. There's going to be an extra as a playlist. It'll be in the book.
Very cool, man.
It looks gorgeous.
So how
the video is great. I love that. Even like the little touches. Like, how did you get the comic to turn like that?
At the end, I use After Effects.
Yeah.
I'm going to be calling you, Ted Sikora, and asking you how to do that.
Hey, we could do a trade, and then I could have a cover by Billy Tucci.
You'd have to give me some time probably for the next book, though, because I'm so far behind right now.
I'm doing 4 of these this year.
Yo, there you go. See, I'm in. I'm in.
Awesome, man. How did this? I mean, this is so different than like the last book that we had you on for. So how did Bloom #1, The Origin of a Prophet, come to be?
So there's so much of this that is oddly autobiographic. I was creating a villain for Apama, and I had this idea of a character with magic symbols that did things for her. And I was trying to draw it out, and I was having a hard time in 2-dimensional space. So I did buy a mannequin, and I'm in my studio and I'm painting this mannequin, and it's coming together. And at the same time, I do video work, and I was shooting an event at Cleveland Public Theater, and there was this dancer on stage, and I was like, oh, she's got the vibe of Regina, you know, and I thought she'll be perfect. And I asked her if she'd be willing to do a photo shoot. So she was interested in it, but we could not get our schedules together. And in the time, maybe 6 months had gone by, I just started to imagine, what if these symbols that I had, what if they actually were sort of magic? And what if we went out into the forest to do this photo shoot? And again, to bring the doors into it, once she has the symbols onto her body, she breaks on through to the other side. And then you've got these 2 people going deeper into the woods. And one is like the artist. He's he'd be a total atheist, and Regina believes everything. So they've got this sort of conflict going on the deeper the conversation goes. And then the supernatural element gets introduced, and it's this real slow burn kind of horror thing, kind of a, almost like with a nod to sort of like Stephen King's Misery.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Well, it is just beautiful. My God, stunning. Every one of your art. And I love the manga inspired one. And who is that by? That cover?
Which one?
The anime the manga style cover?
I'm not sure.
Who's the one?
Which cover?
No.
Do you want me to keep going down?
Yeah. That one.
I mean the incentive?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it has a manga feel to it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, that's Donny Hadiwajawa. He's the artist on Punchline and the Vaudevillains.
Obviously, he's terrific.
Yeah. No, even
I love the movement, the whole thing to it.
And Butch, Butch he did all the interiors and everything, and he did a cover as well.
Oh, I love Butch. And if you go down to the pages, what I love about his work is the personality. There's just such humanity in what he does, and you just believe the world. I always find that so important, that the backgrounds are just so, richly detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think.
Well, you believe it's 1969.
Yeah, totally catchy.
That's a heck for an artist. It's a lot of Googling. So, it's a lot of research.
On a time in Hollywood, like 100 times.
Yeah. But to even get the architecture right, the signs and even the font that they're using at the time. And this is all this is legit. He definitely did his homework, did a great job. You guys together as a pair, did a wonderful job on this book. And you sent us a copy of it, and I'm telling you, it is an awesome, awesome book. I can firsthand tell you people that this is worth backing. It really is. It's a really cool book. It's different, and you get lost. And I have to ask, Ted, is the next campaign going to be issued? When are we going to get issue 2?
April. So we are distributed through Diamond. And what happened with this book, and the reason I'm able to do 4 issues this year, this was actually in the preview guide for last April, which was, the month everything shut down. And Diamond actually, thank God, they got a hold of me and said, hey, this is the worst month ever to release a #1 issue, because the preview guide really wasn't even distributed. So they let me pull it. And, historically, my numbers through Diamond are not enough to pay for the book.
Yeah.
And without conventions, we're kind of sunk. So I thought, all right, we're going to do a hybrid where we'll offer it. It's being offered right now through Diamond, and the Kickstarter is making up for our lost convention sales. And it seems to be working out. I've talked to a bunch of my retailer friends, and they said they're cool with it. You got to do what you got to do, you know?
Yeah. Oh, this is great. It really is, man. It's such a cool book, and you know, it just takes you to a different time. It takes you into a different world, really, and you know, and it's so unique. It is so unique. I mean, Alicia, I mean, how do you feel now being really like, you know, you can hold, you know, you can get this book, but there's now this real world aspect to it. I mean, Regina is a real person. I mean, how cool is that to be a part of this?
It's exceptionally cool. I do feel very close to Regina. Ted's made the joke, and I would stand by it, of melding with her, like having been painted in all the symbols. It really was, you know, transformative, if you will. And Ted lives about 2 hours away from me, so I drove from Pittsburgh to Akron, Ohio, to do the shoot, and then got to spend then like not only just like the time we were doing it, but also driving back. Those 2 hours, I'm like in this space, I'm in this body this entire time. And I couldn't help but like stay in character. Like it was really kind of rad, and it was very trippy, very groovy. It brought me back to like, I grew up watching Russ Myers and like Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. So it was sort of kind of like a trip into that fantasy, like really actually getting to live it and feeling like a little bit of those those roots getting stimulated was exceptionally fun. Plus I love cults. So Regina and like where she's going and everything, like that trajectory, it's just like all these like really wonderful worlds combining where, you know, dancing and the music and the weird ideas that people get. And like also with, oh my gosh, it's one of those things where it's also, because it's culty, and the world is what it is today, it's relatively relevant. So it's also cool in that capacity to be able to like be pumping out there so much something that's like, hey, we're in another time where we have a dangerous level of people in the world who need deprogrammed. So it's also kind of cool to like be putting that out there as well. But Regina is a fun spirit to embody, and she's powerful, I would say. She's got a thing.
That's incredible. I love that. Like it's just spewing this like passion and just this connection. That's so cool. I mean, Ted, that's got to be amazing to feel that harness of like, you know, an imagination, a creation put into a book, and then being able to link it to a real life soul. Like that's incredible. Like someone that really gets, you know, your character and what you're doing. I mean, 100%. It's great for conventions, right?
Oh yeah. But there's something. And Butch has told me this too. Like when I'm working on this character, he said when he's working on, you feel like she's staring back at you, like this.
Yeah.
Alejandro Jodorowsky, he's one of my heroes. And when he was writing Dune, he was really making that Dune movie before David Lynch did. And he said, I loved what he said about it. He's like, I'm not making a character, I'm making a prophet. And I just thought, man, that's how I feel about Regina. Like Can a fictitious character actually spiritually awaken people? That's sort of one of the goals.
Very nice, guys. Very nice. And it's a shame Butch wasn't able to come on and join us. I mean, his art is incredible. If you guys, you know, Ted, if you guys want to get back on and chat for another segment, we can have you guys pop on for 5 and dime and do another promotion of the book, if you'd like, if he has time. But man, this is great. And everyone out there watching, you know, I reiterate this again, you know, if this is something you're digging back, I can't say that I've read everything that's come through. I've looked at all the images and everything that was sent to us. Very appreciative of that. It's an amazing book. I personally am looking forward to issue 2. I do recommend you guys back this. I think you will like this a lot. And if it's not your thing, or the budget's just too tight this month, you know, help share it. share it and grow it. This way it can be fun. Continue the funding of it. A little more money allows to help produce other books, move things quickly. But yeah, spread the word, because Ted puts out a great product with his books. I'm so happy that we've gotten to know Ted, and now this is his second appearance on the show, and definitely not his last. And definitely check out some great stuff. And just what a connection, what a story with Alicia and everything you put together. And I have to congratulate you guys on such a gorgeous book, an amazing campaign, a great story, and really looking forward to seeing where this story goes down the road. Now, just really quick, this is going to be a 4-part series?
That's right.
Awesome, man.
Great idea for a film, too.
I know, right?
Well, if I could tell a quick story, this was, so when I created the villain, when I created her for Apama, I wrote an entire screenplay about this whole idea of trying to shoot this model, So the dancer, as I told you about, I actually wrote this entire screenplay of Regina's origin, and we actually did auditions. We were starting to get production funds together, and the money wasn't quite coming through. So at some point, it was just like, let's make this a comic, and
yeah,
that's what I love about comics, is you can control your own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, guys,
and Alicia, but we have to get Nile. You're gonna have to have Alicia on the POPXP Paranormal.
I know. We'll have to exchange emails or something.
Stories, man, about night terror.
Yeah, please. I have a lot. I've traveled.
Yeah. and then speaking of, it premiered tonight. So whoever's watching this, POPXP Paranormal with Dave Schrader, it has premiered tonight. So you guys please check that out. And again, so great to have you on, Ted, and see you again and everything you're doing. And Alicia, it's been a pleasure meeting you. And yes, if you'd love to join us on POPXP Paranormal, the invite is there, and we can chat with all the ghouls and the ghosts and all the creepy stuff.
Oh man, I'm just waiting.
I know. They're watching us.
Debbie's very excited about coming on too, Niall.
I know, Billy. I know.
Come on with our little haunted.
With your haunted house. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Ted, Alicia, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks you for having me.
And thanks so much again to support the indies like you are. And yeah, it means a lot to us.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
Going, man.
All right. Yeah, keep on going and keep on creating. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Man, what a great lineup, guys. 2 great shows tonight. Unbelievable. Guys out there, ladies and gentlemen out there watching, if you like what you're seeing, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that bell. This way you get notifications when we go live and when we upload new content. Another killer time traveling crowdfunding adventure tonight. I wasn't prepared to go time traveling, Billy. I wasn't. Good thing
Frank was. Frank set it up. Frank knew.
I would have cracked open some New Balances. This way I had my footing or something, But I have to tell you, we survived. We survived the time traveling experience, and it was great.
So, gentlemen, books. We got to back them. Everybody back them, please.
Back them. And you fine gentlemen, you have yourselves a great night, and we will see you all in the next crowdfunding comics.
You too. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.